Hello and welcome to a new episode of Greenberry's Garden. Today I'm going to show you how you can grow your own lotus flower plant with some lotus seeds which I ordered from China. And yes, these are really genuine lotus seeds. In fact, almost all of the lotus seeds I ordered from China were genuine lotus seeds. But before we get into growing our own lotus flowers, let me tell you a bit about the plant first. The lotus flower is the national flower of India and Vietnam and is sacred to both Hindus and Buddhists. Its seeds can survive for more than 1,000 years and still germinate. Many parts of the plant are also edible. The plant can reach a height of up to 2 meters, that's 6 feet 7 inches, which allows it to grow in water up to that depth. It can grow up to 1 meter, that's 3 feet 3 inches horizontally, with leaves that can grow up to 80 centimeters, that's 31 inches, in diameter. The flowers can be up to 30 centimeters in diameter, that's 12 inches, which is quite a lot. Its leaves are special in that nothing can stick to it. This is called the lotus effect and it is pretty impressive. The plant needs a lot of sunlight, although it is able to handle some shade. Lotus needs at least 3 months with temperatures of at least 24 degrees Celsius, that's 75 degrees Fahrenheit, to do well. It will normally not produce flowers in the first year, and you can overwinter the plant as long as it does not freeze. Now let's start with preparing the seeds. Every lotus seed has 2 different ends. One pointy end and one end which is exactly opposite. The non-pointy end is the one we have to open up a bit so that water can get in. I'm using sandpaper for this. And as you see, it is not that easy to do. You're actually going to feel why it can live up to 1,000 years and still germinate after that time. It has a really hard shell. We need to open a bit so that water can get in. Otherwise, it will not germinate at all. When doing that, be careful not to damage the seed itself. After we have done that, now it's time to put them into warm water until they germinate. This will take a few days. You have to change the water daily so that the seeds will not rot. I placed it on a heat mat so that the temperature was always around 30 degrees Celsius. Some seeds might float on top, but most will actually float to the bottom later. Those that won't germinate at all, but sometimes it might take a few days longer for some seeds, so don't give up too early. After the seeds have germinated, they will grow quite fast within just a few days. So if your seeds have started to germinate, it's time to prepare their new home and buy or order some things fast. I've purchased a small plastic pot to fill in the lotus soil, where I'm going to stick the seeds into. Lotus plants are quite delicate, so you should definitely choose a special soil for them. I purchased the soil specifically for lotus plants, which also contains some slow-release osmocote fertilizer. I had to mix under half of the soil and then add the other half of the soil without any fertilizer above. I recommend to read the instructions carefully. Lotus needs fertilizer from time to time. This depends on the kind of soil you're using, so I cannot give any definitive instructions on that. Lotus plants might actually grow even if you use normal potting mix, but they might die early because of the buildup of bacteria, so this is definitely not recommended. The soil needs to contain a lot of clay so that the roots can grow into it. So after the soil has been prepared, it's now time to stick the lotus seeds into the soil. Carefully lay them onto the soil and just add a bit of the soil on the seeds so that they are fully covered. Do not push them into the soil, as this might damage the delicate roots. Now it's time to move them into their new watery home. I have a 40-liter pot, that's around 10 gallons, where I'm going to put the small pot with the lotus plants into. Now let's fill the large pot with water. You should use a pot that allows you to have at least a palm of water over the soil. So even when it gets hot, there always needs to be as much water over it. It can of course also be a bit more. The water you're using should not be too alkaline, because there will be a buildup of limescale over time, which will damage and might even kill the plant, so you might have to prepare the water before. Well, that's all for now. I hope your lotus plants will grow and bloom successfully. If you like this video and want to see more of this, please like and subscribe for more. See you next time. Bye!